Hey everybody, and welcome to The Void, a show dedicated to filling the void between being an employee and becoming self-employed. Most people refer to starting your own company as taking the leap, as if they're blindly jumping off a cliff and into the unknown. This show is here to help you understand that it doesn't have to be that way. As always, if you like what you're hearing on the show, please do us a favor and help share The Void with somebody else who might be wanting to start their own company. David and I saw an opportunity to help others understand that self-employment is well within your reach, and just as our businesses have grown organically and by word of mouth, we want this show to grow the same way. So if you see somebody asking questions about starting their own service-based business, please do us a favor and drop them a link to the show. I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and with me as always is David Hilton.
Mitch, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Not shit.
Yeah?
Got me a cool new shirt, though.
Got a cool new shirt.
Yeah? Does green look good on me?
Yeah, it looks nice.
You know what it looks like? A really badass free shirt.
Yeah. And there's no free shirt that's a bad shirt.
That's right. It's like free beer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite beer? Cold beer.
Cool. Yeah.
What's your second favorite? Free beer. It's the same thing.
It's the easy way to go.
Exact same thing, man.
Right.
No, but I'm doing good. Marcus, what's up?
How's it going, y'all?
Marcus is
It's
back
going.
there.
Just kicking it.
Looking at my new shirt.
Often heard.
Actually, I'm not looking at my new shirt. Y'all can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
We're looking at your new shirt. Nobody else is seeing it.
Nobody else is seeing it.
I love it. I'm going to be rocking this motherfucker all week.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Wash
And,
that thing. Nah, just keep wearing it.
With us today, we've got Tyler Maidment.
Tyler.
What's up, y'all?
We're gonna dive in. We're gonna dive in a little bit with Tyler here in a few minutes. Dave, how about you kind of go over the framework of this show, and then we'll get to the heart of Tyler.
All right. Well, we're going to, just to recap what the steps and the outline of the show are.
Yep.
So preparation steps, personal finance prep. All right. Episode 1 and 2. 2, business finance prep. Episode 3. 3, systems prep. Episodes 4, 5, and 6. That is before you get your business started.
Yeah.
All right. That's what you're doing there. Right when you get your business started, then you go into the beginning steps. Number 4, community involvement work. Okay. That's episode 7. 5, wake up, do work, repeat. Episode 8. 6, evaluate performance, make adjustments, and improve. See, I like how Mitch didn't put on here episode 9, episode 10. He didn't do anything because the last.
I pulled it out.
Yeah.
And then
he screws it up. What was that?
Less.
Like 3 weeks in
it's
a row?
a less screw up.
Yeah. Well, no one's. It's obvious we have no editing because no one's going through and checking his work.
If you'll notice, where the screw-ups happen is on the step, evaluate performance, make adjustments, and
you would
improve.
think that he could pull his head out of his ass for 3 seconds and write the right damn thing
You would
in
think.
there. But that's all right.
You
know,
would think.
It's okay.
So if you're new to the show, those steps that David just went over are all found in our first 9 episodes, and they pretty much cover the framework and all of the rules for how to start a successful service-based company. So you'll want to go back and listen to episodes 1 through 9 and get kind of a gist of what's going on. So we're going to refer back to a lot of those episodes in today's show as we're working with Tyler here. So as we said earlier, today we have Tyler Maidment with us. Tyler is the owner of a gym, a workout facility called Dog Pound KC, and that's DAWG Pound KC. Like dog.
Yes. Yeah, we get it, Mitch.
Not
You don't have to drag it
affiliated
out.
with the Cleveland Browns. No affiliation whatsoever.
No affiliation with the Cleveland
or
Browns.
any other gyms that are DOG
Right.
pound.
I don't know if you
This
could
is
even-
our own. This is his own gym.
Yep.
DAWG.
I don't even know if you could legally say that. When
Yeah.
have to edit this out.
They can
So-
call me. It'll be all right.
So Tyler's had a gym for a couple of years. It's actually the gym that I work out at every morning at 5 a.m. And so
Because you're a lunatic. No
well,
offense, Tyler.
There's
He's
a
doing the
lot-
right thing.
a
He's
lot
up
of-
earlier
You're
than I am.
crazy. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah.
I'm just standing there, but yeah, there's a lot of 5 a.m. lunatics.
Yeah, he ain't working out at 5 a.m.
He's telling you idiots to work out.
He's laughing at us dying
He
at
might
5
be
a.m.
the smartest guy in the room right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Tyler's got a pretty cool story for how his gym came to be and some of the struggles that he overcame with it. So Tyler, how about you tell everybody a little bit about how your gym came to be?
Okay, so, years and years ago, probably like 10 years ago, I started personal training, and it seemed like a great idea until you really break it down. So I finally got my first opportunity at a commercial gym like I said, probably 10 years ago. And I got certified 3 times just because they don't tell you about pay, and you don't really care when you're 23. Right. So you're like, hey, I'm going to go do something I love. So I got certified like 7 times over. And then I started this gym, and I was terrible like any trainer would be. You think you know what you're doing. But after a while, I started to get the hang of it. And then I really took off. And then from there, kind of went to New York City, trained a little bit, had a midlife crisis. I was 25 at the time. Came back.
Midlife crisis at 25?
I think,
oh, man.
I think you could have a midlife crisis anytime. So I was like, this is boring. Went to New York, came back, and then you kind of realize you're working for the man, and anybody could sit at their job and count the money they make, the company.
Right.
And then feel like they deserve better. Not always the case, so I decided to privately train. So I basically booth rented, really popular thing to do, different ball game. Started that failed miserably. Didn't realize how important the structure around me was. But then I kind of bounced back, and from there, kind of recovered a little bit.
Right.
Things got back on my feet, had to get some help. If you're running any sort of personal training ideas through your mind, just realize 90% of trainers aren't trainers within 3 months. We'd get people coming all the time. There's just a lot of things that go with it. It's not always about the best program. Right. It's about the whole thing. Can you talk? Can you sell? Can you relate with people?
Whole package.
From there, I went through a couple different gyms that changed ownership. And then eventually, I'd kind of almost hit, I would say, rock bottom, where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then I went to a different gym, and then it all turned around for a little bit. And then, as usual, when you're training, there's no stability. You really need somebody in your life that's stable, like any of those kind of jobs, I would assume. And then it really hit rock bottom, and then I had an opportunity through an investor, a silent investor in a way, but an investor. And this gave me the opportunity to start my own gym. And at the time, it was one of those now or never things, literally.
Yep.
I had kind of trained, and I was at that point in my life where it's like, do I want to switch careers and get something more stable? And I decided I couldn't give up doing what I love. So I got this investment, and then it all started to hit at once. Went all the way in, had about a $15,000 investment, and I was broke, like beyond broke.
Right.
So I knew the margins were going to be tough, and I had an idea of how I wanted this gym to go. And then it was pretty much get it open as soon as I can. I couldn't afford proper weights. I've lucked out, found somebody that finally gave me the chance to rent, starting a business without any credit. Tough. Yep. I mean, I was building this gym day and night. And then throughout the build, the investor kind of stayed out of it, which really worked out well for me since I was kind of trained in the matter of like what I wanted to do. And I had actually worked with them before as a client, so it always comes around. And throughout that time, I mean, I was so broke, I was sleeping next to an electric heater because my gas got turned off.
Right. Ramen noodle broke.
Like ramen noodle broke.
Yeah.
So, now people are like, you don't understand. It's like, no,
I do.
I understand.
No,
I get
you
it.
don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I was borrowing money to get dog food for my dog.
Yeah.
Dog pound.
Dog pound.
And then we finally opened, and it really took off. It was all about building the environment for me and really loving what I do, I would assume.
Right.
That's what it takes. Takes some passion.
And then it's turned into a really successful business, something that I dreamed of, something, it's for everybody.
Right.
And you're proud of it, right?
Proud.
Yeah.
And it's, based around everybody. It's everybody's gym. It's not my gym.
Right.
You know, it's Mitch's gym.
You're just running the gym.
I'm
right?
just there.
Yeah.
Only
You're
thing
there.
I do is like mediate, make sure everybody likes the workout, and just be kind of not the principal, but like the overlooker of the gym. And it's really turned into a great thing. And now, 2.5 years I was sleeping next to a heater, staying with friends, and now I'm kind of looking to start my next gym.
Right. Right.
So that's kind of that.
Well, that's
Man.
awesome. That's awesome.
It's a really great story.
It is.
I like it.
It is
and
really cool.
And we get to talk in depth, when it's just one-on-one before the shows and after the shows and stuff. And the challenge is that, we're not going to, get into an 8-hour show or anything, but the challenges that he had to overcome to do it, I mean, they are inspiring. Hey, I'm at I am at the end of my rope. What am I going to do? I want to start a gym. I have no money. What the F am I going to do? Oh,
Right.
Hey, just happenstance. A guy comes along. Hey, I want to be partners with you.
Right.
I've got this money. And instead of like you said, you didn't know what you were going to do. You were like, no, I'm going to grab it by the balls.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. And then you jumped all in. And sometimes that's what it takes
Right.
to get rolling. You've got to jump all in.
Well, and there's a lot of people that will ignore obvious signs. They're I want to start this gym. I want to start this gym, but I don't have the money. And then somebody comes up and says, well, I'll invest $15,000. There are some people that would they're so addicted to wanting to do something but not actually doing it that they would say oh no, I'll find the money some other way. And it's like, no, you idiot, that was your chance.
Yeah. And some people panic.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid of the success that it could have.
Yeah.
Or what it means to, I am on my own now.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Right.
And then so they don't even take the steps to do it.
Right. Right.
And I think that's a problem for a lot of people.
One of the things that you mentioned was a lot of trainers forget that there's a whole lot of other aspects to being a successful trainer, and that's true with any business, right? Like if you are a doctor, just because you got your doctorate or you became a medical doctor doesn't mean you can now go own a successful practice somewhere. You don't have the business sense to do it, right? So just because you're the world's best trainer working in somebody else's structure doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the best gym owner. And we kind of hit that on the last episode with the E-Myth that book talks about.
That Jorge brought up.
Yeah, that that highlights the different aspects of you if you want to open your own business doing something, you have to appreciate what you're doing, but you also have to have a mega appreciation for all of the aspects in the business that it's going to take to pull it off. One of the cool things about your story that I like is we've often said that the more adversity you go through, the more success you're going to see on the other end. And ramen noodle broke, sleeping next to an electric heater with no gas, and borrowed dog food.
That's pretty much it.
Lended $50 to buy my dog some dog food.
Yeah, so that's like rock bottom, right? So there's nowhere to go.
There was
up.
no backup plan.
Yeah.
I didn't have a backup. There was no.
You were all in.
I was
No other option.
no other it was either make it or be homeless.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that motivated me, and a lot of times
Yeah,
people wouldn't do it, but for me,
it can motivate you if you there's some people that would go into that and they would, it's either going to make it or fail. Well, they don't put in the prep work to be successful. And so it's it's not even chance, you don't even have a chance to make it. You're just going to fail. But you're going to go into it with that attitude of make it or fail, right?
Yeah.
So you had done the prep work. You had some money. You had the knowledge of how to be a trainer. You had the knowledge of a vague knowledge of how to kind of run everything. And so you had enough in the tank
right, and
to
just
say make it or fail.
yeah, and everybody when they're doing their job, they've got their idea of how things should be done.
Right.
And in my heart, I knew that the way I'm going to do it is it's innovative. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And it can't fail. But throughout that process, building the gym, waking up at 3 a.m.,
Right.
you just lose your mind. You're like, what am I doing? Is this
Right.
actually going to I'm building the gym. I had Walmart treadmills when we started.
Right.
Like my house was full of gym equipment that was literally not even commercial grade.
Right. Right.
And I knew that, I had a good idea. in my mind, based off the literature, like this program's going to be the best program anybody can get at the best price.
Right.
With, in my mind, the best trainer
Right.
that cares the most. And, I could have quit a long time ago, but it's like one of those things where it's like, do you want to do anything else? And I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do.
Right.
And it wasn't about the money.
Well, and that's a really powerful moment. There's a lot of people that, myself included, within 2 years before starting our company, I was going through those things of like, should I change should I completely do a different career? Should I completely pull up stakes in the plumbing industry and just go some other direction and all of that? That might be a sign. If you've had a light shining in the back of your visions of one day owning your own company, and now you're considering completely switching careers, you're probably really close to having enough passion and energy to go start your own business doing the thing you're passionate about.
Being pushed to the edge
Right.
is a great motivator.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the wildebeest in Africa.
Right.
No one wants to be the first guy.
Right.
That's like the inside of your mind.
Yep.
You're just it's all building and it's all building and it's all right to the edge, and you're like, well, fuck, I got to do something.
Right.
What am I going to do? Do I want to do something else? Do I want to go back to training? Do I want to just jump in and do it?
Yep.
Do I want to feel safe? Do I want to be comfortable? Do I want to not stress about it?
No.
Right.
Do I want to not
I'm going to
beg
jump
for
across
money?
the river. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to do.
Well, and
You know?
what's also funny too, and we'll probably say this time and time again, you think that there is less security when you're working for somebody else, but once you're on your own, and once you have a little bit of money coming in through the business, not even enough to say the business is successful. The business is just merely functioning.
Enough to float.
Enough to go, right? Once you're to that point, you recognize that the danger was not working for somebody else.
Yeah.
You recognize that the danger was working for somebody else. Because
I thought
now...
that's what you said. Sorry.
Yeah. Because now that you're on your own, there are zero barriers between you and ultra success other than yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're working for somebody else, they could fire you tomorrow. They could get bought out by a national franchise and axe a whole department. Right. They could decide to pull up stakes and move in a different direction and shut down the company. They could have a personality conflict and get rid of you. They could alter your pay. They could alter your benefit. They could change a whole lot, and you're just along for the ride. Whereas when you own your own company, even if it's a company of one, then you're in control of all of that. And so that's a really cool advantage, but you won't know that until you're a few months on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't learn it until.
Right.
You learn it once it's happened.
Right.
I think it's even heightened with training because, there are circumstances where it's a smaller business to where there's less variables. Like bigger business, I feel like you're more protected.
Right.
I was booth renting out of these gyms, and then they'd sell, and a new owner would come in, and he'd be like, I just don't fucking like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the man around
that's
here.
the
Right.
exact same point.
It's
yeah.
the-
And it's like
That's a great example.
Good, nice to everybody. Had a great business built there, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Because I got an egomaniac guy that wanted to come in and start his own thing, and it's like anywhere you're booth renting, you're literally just a fucking guest.
Right.
And
Right.
you walk around in eggshells, and I didn't feel that. I was willing to be like, just give me a job where they promised me hours.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I felt safer doing a job where it's like nobody knew I was there. I just had hours.
Yep.
I could work as much as I want, collect a check, have health insurance, all those things I wanted. And it crosses your mind anytime you're doing something like that is like the grass is greener.
Right.
But then you kind of have to think to yourself, is there anything I'd rather do? And for me, it was always one track.
Right. Right.
I like it.
Tell
like
everybody about the lawsuit.
Okay, so
This
This
is
is
pretty
good.
this is pretty wild.
Yeah. And that's why we have pre-show talks, because
Yeah.
we let the guests just drug up whatever BS they want.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, dude, that is great.
We're talking
You
about
gotta
that.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I kind of joked around about don't say dog pound. Legally, you might not be allowed to.
Right.
That's why I
Right.
said DAW.
So here's why it's specifically DAW. So I'm broke. We're starting off, and I spend. So of course, like I couldn't hire anybody to paint. I painted,
Right.
and I was like, man, I'm not gonna have a plain looking gym. So I went to Hobby Lobby, bought a projector, and I literally projected the word DOGPOUND
Yeah.
at 27 feet long,
Yeah.
and it's an awesome mural. I was so proud of it.
This mural in
Yeah.
his
So
gym's cool.
yeah, I did it myself.
Yeah.
Like my mom came up and helped me, and then I got it done. I returned the projector because I needed the $54.
That's freaking
Hobby Lobby.
amazing.
And
That-
I take a picture of it.
I mean, it's
take-
illegal, but it's okay.
Is it? Because Walmart will return anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No judgment. I don't mean to be
I had to
judgment, but
return
I
it.
love how
that is
low
the
you are.
creative ingenuity that you needed when
Yeah.
you are that low.
Yeah.
I'm almost gonna go buy one at my next gym and keep it and like buy a really nice.
No,
one.
always have one,
return it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
haven't
I guess
needed it
just
for return it again.
right. So
Make Mitch buy one and loan it to you.
Yeah.
I post this picture, and there's this guy that owns a gym, and know my luck.
So
and
this is right after you. So
I
you
post
did the
this
deal, just
picture.
put it on
I
there.
post
Okay,
this picture.
okay.
This is like before you're opening, but like
Not even open.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're
okay.
creating
I'm
a
like-
buzz.
I'm
Yeah.
creating a
You're
buzz. I'm like
excited about it.
pre-promoting.
Yeah.
I didn't have any I couldn't pre-sell memberships because like I didn't have the equipment.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, I wasn't really sure how
Yeah.
this was going to work. And I get a message from, they got the blue check on Instagram. This is a famous person.
Yeah.
My luck, he owns a gym in New York and LA. From my experience with the dude, he was a really nice guy, so I have nothing poor to say about him. This person's in my inbox, and he's like, hey, I grew up around there. My luck.
Yeah.
He grew up locally.
Yeah.
I had no clue. And he's like, I just want to let you know, I spoke with my attorneys and my investors, and we don't know if you can keep that name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I just spent I foiled the windows during the day to get this thing done.
Put your
Yeah.
heart and soul in it.
And I was so proud,
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. When you're
Yeah.
key to that, like when you're working for yourself or creating your own business, it never feels like work.
Right.
Like it's so much better. It's like
Working
if you told me to go
towards
paint a
something
mural,
is different.
I'd
Yeah.
never do that for you. It was like, but it was like working for yourself's easy.
Yeah.
So, I probably spent 6 days straight, day and night doing this.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're going to speak to our attorneys and let you know. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, fuck this guy. So I looked him up, and he's legit training Justin Bieber, legitimate.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Beaver's
And,
getting a
I'm
good
like-
training right now.
So I start getting mail because I couldn't afford to. I wasn't going to change it.
Right.
And it's like I couldn't afford to fix it, and I didn't know what else to do. So I left it, and then we're starting to take off, and it's kind of in the back of your mind, but it's going to go away.
Right.
And then, long story short, I get a cease and desist
Cease and
letter,
desist.
Yeah. I've had a few of those.
and I'm
for different reasons.
I had
other than
invited
that.
all my friends to join the Facebook page, and I'm like, dang, this is kind of going. I've got a lot of followers on this page,
Yeah.
and it's gone. I log in, I'm like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how business works,
yeah, you're
Facebook's
panicked.
a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
paying.
The domain was gone.
Right.
The website was gone. And I was clicking around, and it's their attorney who's on retainer
Yeah.
basically said, not today.
Yep.
I never got that domain back.
Yep.
I contacted an attorney. Of course, I had zero money. I met with the attorney. He's like, if I write on this paper, it's going to cost you. And I was like, we'll see you later. So I finally found a cool one
Yeah.
that specializes in this kind of thing.
See ya. Gotta go.
And he was I changed. I knew there was a gym called Dog Pound, but I know there's a lot of gyms called a lot of different things. Different logo, different color, different market, obviously.
Yep.
And didn't matter. So when you're trying to create a name, there's a federal trademark that really matters.
Yep.
Definitely make sure it's not federally trademarked. So pretty much legally, any gym containing the letters Dog Pound in that order,
Right.
they have a duty to protect that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it could be, the gym could have been called Carpet,
Right.
and they legally could have been like, no, it's not.
Right.
So the guy was actually really nice to me. The attorney I finally met with said, well, I think you got a case, but it's going to cost you $12,000 to figure it out. And it sounds like they got the money.
Yeah.
And I said, cool. So I came up with a cooler name.
DAWG.
Dog Pound.
Yeah.
You can only get as much justice as you can afford.
Right.
That's like the American way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you had to redo all your logos in the gym.
Yep. I even had to email his attorney, and they had to okay it and make sure
Right.
that they were cool with it.
Right.
And that was like really demoralizing because I'm like, fuck you, I changed it.
Yeah.
Leave me
I
alone.
need permission
But
from this guy in New York.
when they got the money,
you gotta
like,
do
Yeah.
what you gotta do, man.
those things you think don't matter,
Right.
they can end up mattering.
Business owning is can be a humbling experience.
Yeah.
Because you obviously you don't want to be punked, right? But you also don't want your work to go to waste,
Right,
and you also
right.
don't want your dream to be crushed, and you want to keep moving forward. So sometimes you got to swallow your pride and be like,
And it was
I'm just gonna I'm gonna do what I got to do, and I'm just gonna keep going.
right, and it was the money too. Like when you're starting
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
like you've seen my door still says DOG,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's like I couldn't afford to redo it.
Right.
I could afford to I had to restart basically, and
Yeah.
it all worked out. Makes you better.
Right. Right.
You learn a lot, man.
You learn a lot.
You hit on something there too that I have often said to my wife over and over and over. Once you flip over to being self-employed, time almost becomes irrelevant. So when you're working for somebody else, you count your commitment to work in the number of hours.
Right.
I put in 44 hours this week, and 40 is kind of the benchmark, right? So anybody does over 40 and they feel like they're overachieving, right? When you're working for yourself, I've put in countless 60 to 80 hour weeks working for myself, but it doesn't feel like I'm putting in
Right.
It's different when it's for you. And you don't, when you put in a 60-hour week for your employer, you almost have like,
Well, it's
there's
like
a little bit of resentment almost. Like
Your
I put,
soul's getting taken.
you're working and you're waiting for 3:30 to roll around, and you're looking at the clock and you're working for the clock.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, waiting for 3:30. When you're on your own and 3:30 is rolling around, you're like, oh shit, I got to keep going. I got so
Yeah.
much to do.
Right.
You just keep, you're like,
just
oh,
keep
I
going.
need another hour. When you're working for somebody, you're like, oh man, I wish this hour would just go away.
Well, and it works the other way too. So like,
Yes.
there's been times, and you have this in your days, in your schedule, the way that your classes are structured. There might be times where I have 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the day where I've got nothing to do, and I'll come home and hang out. If the kids are like, if it's over the summer, I'll hang out with the kids. If it's not, I'll hang out with the wife, and so on. And it used to be like you felt like you were kind of cheating against your employer if you did that, like you were kind of getting away with something. And now it's like, no, I've earned this. Like
right.
I
put
I'm
in.
going back later.
It's just a trade, right? It's
Yeah.
just as long as the work's getting done, it's getting done.
Sometimes, and it also works the other way, where it's like you want these problems that normally in a 9 to 5 would go away. They don't go away.
Yeah.
no,
when
they're
you run the
always
business.
on your ass,
So like,
right?
we go back to that story about getting sued. Like, the front of my building, I had built a literally a sign, like that looks professional
with Hobby Lobby letters.
that I crimped by hand with literally $70 LED lights from Amazon
Yep.
that I needed to change.
Yeah.
And I had to get like my dad to come out and help me with a ladder and like do all this stuff because you can't afford to. Sometimes when you start a small business,
Yep.
I had to go out there and make an O or get rid of the O, make an A,
Make an A,
and
make a
have-
W.
But it's cool like to get that help. It was more satisfying when it was done. I even have a picture
Yeah.
of changing it.
Yeah.
But those problems when you have a small business or a business, you can't brush them off. Like
Yeah.
No,
you can't
yeah.
wait for somebody on the second shift to pick it up and fix that sign.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's not going anywhere.
Like
Yeah.
I'll burn my next 30 minutes up, and the next guy can take
It's-
it.
You're
It's
only
like when
screwing
you-
yourself.
You
When you
gotta
come
do it.
in, yeah, when you
Yeah,
come
just
in
get
the
it.
morning and you're like, man, whoever closed this place down did a shitty job, and you realize, oh, that was me.
Right.
Oh shit, I was exhausted.
crap.
Man.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about like what when you started or when you were preparing to start, what was the easiest thing that you encountered in your preparation to get, of all the things that you had to do to get prepared to start, what was the easiest?
So for me, I knew that I love personal training. I've done I'm considered an elite. I've done 10,000 one-on-one sessions. I've trained athletes. I've trained across the country. But the easiest part for me was the structure of how I wanted to do team classes. I was going to have to let back on personal training because I knew based off my business plan and my business model, like if you're a trainer, you can't cover the overhead of a commercial space doing sessions.
Right.
I mean, when I do sessions, they mean more to me here because it's really based around, it's like a gym membership where you're at with me, but it's also training, but it's also classes. So when I designed, the easiest part was designing that structure of everything I've always wanted in my mind of like the best program. So essentially, I really go off the literature and the science behind working out. And I designed this program where it's the most effective 6-day program. It's like if I was going to work with somebody 6 days a week, personal training, I'm handing it to you with these team training classes at literally the cheapest rate in town.
Yeah.
And I designed it where it's like based off the literature, you're hitting every muscle group twice a week, split out perfectly. So, Mondays and Thursdays are leg day. You're getting that recovery. You're hitting it twice a week. Tuesdays, Fridays are upper body. It's all upper body targeted, just like you're working with somebody. Like you're trying to have results. Frequency is the key.
Today was arm day, by the way.
So frequency is key if you're doing your workout. Like
I missed it.
Still waiting. And then Wednesdays, Saturdays are the cardio program. And then, the last thing is I always wanted people to be successful, and 80% of that's in their eating. I take groups of people that every week I'll take new members, new signups to the grocery store and literally walk them down every aisle.
Yeah.
And teach them how to eat properly.
Yeah. Spends 2 hours
Really?
with you in the grocery
Every
store.
Tuesday night. Yeah.
Do this, do that. Don't eat this.
Yep.
This is what
Well,
this does to you. This is what this does to you.
And educating them as to all the false advertisement where it says fat-free, but it's actually very unhealthy for you because it might be fat-free, but it's loaded in sugar.
Have a bunch of other shit.
Or
I hate
something
sugar.
like that.
I try to never eat sugar.
He teaches you how to identify a lot of that stuff.
Nice.
So the easiest part was just really getting the chance to make the program of your dream when you care about something like that. And you know it, like in your mind, it's the most best thing ever. It's the most innovative idea of all time. It's like you got this great idea, and then it's like you get to showcase it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just your dream to have the gym, but it was your dream to be able to make your own program
And
to help people.
And reach so many people.
Yeah.
Like everybody I ever worked with, it's like I'm confident that they'll never work with another trainer because I feel like
You set the bar right?
I care the most. I've made the best program. I put the most into it.
Right.
And then it's like having that chance to have that same relationship with so many more people in the team training aspect.
Well, and another cool thing, and I can say this because I've gone to your gym for almost a year now.
Trying to work for that free month, right?
Yeah. Buy 12 months, get one free, right?
Right.
So one of the cool things about the way that you've done it with the team sessions is once you've attended quite a few of those, you kind of get the hang of it a little bit. But there's a lot of people in them. Like the class we're in, there's like, I don't know, 20 to 25 people in that class, and it's a smaller, like 1,200 square foot space, so it's pretty packed. But you'll have newer people come in. When you have enough seasoned people in there, then it allows Tyler a chance to focus on the new people and give them the attention they need. But also what happens is the existing people, you kind of get to know everybody in your class as people routinely show up. Like there'll be people where maybe it's on opposite ends of the room and Tyler's helping a new person over here. Mm-hmm. Well, there's enough other people that have done it for a while that they're all willing to jump in and help too. And it's like the complete opposite. Like everyone wants to go to Planet Fitness and make fun of people, right? Because they don't know how to use the machines and they don't know how to do any of that. And it's really kind of like shame on Planet Fitness. Why don't you have people walking around?
Why don't you not get us sued by Planet Fitness?
Well, it just is what it is.
Right.
Like you
Any
should
open gym.
Yeah,
a lot of them are like
you
that.
should have people walking around and saying, "Hey, it looks like you're struggling with how to use that machine. Let me help you." Like I'm not a trainer, but I can at least tell you how to use that machine safely, right?
Yeah.
And instead of, I mean, geez, all you got to do is just Google Planet Fitness videos, and you can come up with a million people that are going to get themselves hurt because there's not anybody there to shape them. What I loved about it was I could walk into Planet Fitness and not have any clue what the hell to do. I see a whole bunch of gyms, or I see a whole bunch of pieces of equipment. I could figure out how to use them, but I don't know the days that, like, I don't know that I should be working these on these days and these on these days and giving my days rests and all of that stuff. And I don't know that I should interchange my exercises with this one versus this one instead of doing 2 pulling exercises in a row where you're already kind of tapped out, or
fatigued.
Pre-exhausting your biceps.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna go do you got one exercise that might be pre-exhausting your biceps, and then you're planning on going to curl next, and well, crap, now I can't hardly curl because
takes away the output of your curl.
Yeah,
and like he was talking about, like for me, one of the biggest things I saw with gyms is like, man, like why can't we all be a team?
Right.
For me, anybody that comes in new, I'll partner them with somebody that I know.
Right.
Like I know is a good coach, and it's like I consider Mitch a coach in the class. Like, sometimes somebody new will come in, and I'll be like, I'll grab Mitch, and be like, you're gonna partner with this guy. I know Mitch's personality. I know this guy's relative personality, and I take as much pride in the 70-year-old coming to our class for the first time.
Yeah.
Working with the D1 athlete and them getting along and having the same effectiveness in the workout because it's designed correctly. Yeah. And it's for every level.
Yeah. And it's really,
I like it.
The way that your structure is too really has to go a lot with, it's not just the fitness, it's the diet too. And it's not just the diet, it's the fitness, and they go hand in hand. And so you put both of those together really well. And that's why you have so many amazing transformation photos.
Yes.
So
you cannot work off a piss poor diet.
Yeah. And you can't outrun a bad diet.
That's right. You can't outrun a bad diet.
I feel like it should be a
They've
duty.
been saying that forever.
To cover that.
No.
Yeah.
So that was, so that was the easiest. What do you think that the most difficult area for you to deal with, overcome, those first couple of years was?
So obviously COVID happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
all gyms must close.
All gyms were closed.
Did you just board up and then let people in the back?
No, he's not going to get himself in trouble.
I didn't
may
know.
Or may not.
Wink.
Yeah. We'll discuss that another time.
Let's just say the local health department allowed him to have friends come work out with him.
Okay.
And then they told me to stop.
And then they said, we can't do that anymore.
And, as a business, I feel like I'm the only person during COVID, or the only business during COVID that actually didn't bill people.
Right.
You didn't bill.
No, I turned it off.
He froze all the billing.
Froze it all.
Hey,
froze it all.
Good on you, man.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, every place is saying, we're going to work with you. My lease, it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to work with you. And then they prorate it for 12 months, an extra 100. They get their money.
Yeah.
Like electric company, they got their money.
Yeah.
And then there's very few. I was just losing money.
Yep.
But luckily, doing the proper paperwork and stuff like that, I did get granted some relief.
Yep.
But
and you had people that were still okay. You offered to freeze their monthly billing, and they said, no, keep it going.
Keep it, and that's one thing. Being a small business in a good community, you don't realize how much it matters to some people.
Yeah.
I always thought it was me, where it's like, it's a small business. I'm gonna tip more. I'm gonna buy more. It's more important to me.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one that feels that way if you're like that. And I've had that, been blessed with that. Then the second most difficult was the investor / business partner. It always gets sticky, and he was is a good friend of mine, but we kind of reached that breaking point of, what do you want to do? What do you feel like you deserve? And what do you see your future as?
Right. And
we luckily, amicably kind of just parted ways, and still a friend to this day. But it, the longer it went on, the more frustrating it could be. Yeah. Because anytime you're a partner with anything, I was there building it and like literally drilling holes in my finger, trying to figure out how to do
how to hang a mirror.
Sign. Non-construction guys, man.
And that was the expectation coming in, and he knew, but like we kind of reached that agreement, and it amicably worked out where, did become he did become just an investor, and everything worked out. He got his money.
Right.
But once that was over with, I really felt like a lift off my back of, I'm working for my dream.
Right.
And it's like there's nobody that can really stop you.
Right. Right.
With their.
So, did he, after you opened, did he work there with you?
We attempted that. And then he wasn't, there was a lot of different things that came along. He wanted to be a trainer, but he did have, training is it's a love of the game.
Yeah, there's a skill to it.
You
There's an
have
art.
to, genuinely want to see people be successful, or you're not gonna be successful. And he made a lot of money. He made a lot of money doing his job, and he saw training as a lucrative way to do something more enjoyable than the job he currently had.
To make extra money doing something he liked.
And
right?
I kind of, doing something, it's a glamorous thing, but trust me, when you're training, those people you look up to, they go home and they're fucking broke.
Yeah.
If they got money, it's daddy's money.
Yeah.
Because there was no point in my training career where I could have saved enough money to make a real gym.
Right.
And
you were one of the most successful trainers at some leading gyms.
Yes. So I would hit 90% of a $30,000 training budget with 7 trainers on staff. I'd hit almost 90% of the budget.
Yeah.
And I was still
broke.
Pretty close to broke.
Yeah.
And then it goes through phases. It's like any business, you have to project, this is going to be a bad month, this is going to be a good month. But throughout that, he gave me the opportunity, and it worked out really successfully for me. But, when you're starting your business, that's something you have to realize is anybody that's tied to you, everybody grows different ways.
Yep.
And he didn't realize that training's not a lucrative thing.
Yeah.
And I literally broke it down this is the max you could make.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be making anything. And I did all this.
Yeah.
So luckily we worked out an agreement that was good for both. And like I said, at the beginning, I thought about all those jobs that, I could make more money, but not be as happy or do what I love.
Right.
And I think that's where he was.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of lessons to learn there. I think one of them is really, if you're gonna have a partner and you're gonna go into business, get it all in writing.
Yeah.
Get it all in writing.
Both of you sit down and say, hey, what are my roles going to be?
Yep.
What are we going to do? Don't just say, hey, okay, I want to take this money and then we're going to both. Because your idea and his idea, obviously, were different, right?
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are that way. Get it down, get it in writing, decide what you're going to do,
Yep.
Before you jump into bed with somebody.
Yeah, business partnerships are a lot like marriages, where more of them end up in divorce than end up in success.
And they're also the closest ones can hurt you the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never reached that point where it's the people you love the most, you can hate the most.
Yep.
I still care about them. Great person, still friends. But I always knew in the back of my mind, that's a great way for a friendship to be over.
Yeah. One of the,
it sounds like
and not just
really
over, but bitterly
really
over.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, he was a really self-aware person.
Yeah.
And he made good money, so that
and it's
helped.
not like the partnership failed. He served a
No,
role
they did
without
everyone did their spot.
Yeah, and without him, you wouldn't be where you are, right? And he still made out financially fairly well on the thing. So
I'll forever be indebted to him for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah,
and that's why when I paid him back, he made money on the deal.
Yeah.
And I'm always blessed to have met him.
Yep.
And if I see him now, it's
hey, love you, bro.
Love
Right?
you for. And I'd be there for him now if he needed anything.
Well, and that hits on a really cool point with, if you're considering a partner in business, make for sure that the two people that are considering being partners are bringing two separate things and two opposing things to the business. In other words, mine's a plumbing business, right? If I'm bringing the plumbing but I didn't have the business sense, there's no point in me partnering up with another plumber who also doesn't have the business sense. That's a partnership bound to fail. So if I was going to if I didn't have a business sense and I'm a plumber,
I'm all right.
I'd want to partner I'd want to partner with a business guy who knows nothing about plumbing, right? And then we got to let each other play in their area of expertise.
It would have never worked if we were both trainers.
Well, and that's about the
Right.
time that everything spoiled down was when he
Right.
really tried to get into training, and it
Right.
was like, okay.
And then another funny story is he was a client I worked with that, I really worked with them, and I treat every client like, that 50 minutes we're working together, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Right.
Like, you're going to get the best. And he wasn't the person you'd think in your million years would be the person that's like, dude, I want to invest in you.
Right.
And like us, I believe in you.
Right.
So it goes to show, like, quality of like some trainers I know would have been like, this dude's not serious. He's in this for the, like, they wouldn't have taken it seriously and thought, this dude's just dicking around.
Right. Right.
And I was like, quit fucking around. We're working today, and
Yeah.
we're going to hit your goal. And come back like 6 years later, he's like, hey, I got this money.
Hey,
I want to
man.
do this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm poor, but okay.
Right. Well, and that's people respect authenticity.
Right.
And so if you know you can pull some more out of somebody and you don't have a problem asking them, push harder, lift
Right.
more, work out harder, they respect that.
Right.
So
And it's
I know
a-
I respect it. This morning, we're
Did you
working
cry?
out.
Throw up?
No. I've
Okay.
come close to throwing up a couple times. He'll never forget my first day. But anyway,
Oh, whoa. Mitch's first day.
oh boy.
We got time. We got time on the podcast. You know
Let's
what?
just-
No. You brought it up.
5-minute cliff note, or less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
I ended up in the corner with him holding my legs over my head because I was about ready to pass out.
And, so
Holy
I have
shit.
this, I have
Yeah.
this,
I can't tell if this is a story that makes me want to go more or makes me want to go
yeah.
less. You
So
know?
this is why you should always work with a professional that's got a lot of experience. So he came in, and I know all the signs and symptoms of everything.
Yeah.
And my favorite question is, are you dizzy, nauseous, or lightheaded? And I looked at him, and I didn't even
He didn't
know
even
him.
have to ask.
Was he on the ground?
No, he looked at me. People get a look
Your
when
eyes
they're-
go funny.
when they're
Is
not,
it the glassy-eyed?
when they're
like-
losing it.
Yeah.
Like they're seeing not clearly, and he had the look.
They're looking 2 feet past
And
you.
he was like, I was like, dizzy, nauseous, lightheaded? He's like, dizzy.
Dizzy.
And I said, immediately, like, lay down.
Lay down.
Let me elevate your feet. So we're in the middle of a class with 20 people. It's his first day, and he's in the corner.
Were there any hot girls in the
And like,
class?
this is
No.
a really important
Okay.
thing that matters to me. It's like, did it feel awkward to you?
No.
No. Like,
No, like
if
I
it-
went there for that
every-
reason.
like,
Like,
he
kick
needed
my
the
my
help.
ass.
thing is,
he
like,
needed the help, right?
I'm going to help you. And if anybody, like, even remotely said anything, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? This,
Yeah.
like, so
Well,
it's like, it's important to me that he had a good experience. But credit to Mitch, like, most of the time it's hit or miss. And he still had like 6 days left on his free trial.
And I signed up
And
that day.
I'm like, good job, Mitch. And he's like, oh, I'm ready to sign up. And I was like,
Okay.
what? Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I figured if you can kick my ass that hard to make me about pass out, this is where I want to
Right.
be.
Nice. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to pull you off there, but when
No,
if
you-
there's
Yeah.
a good Mitch story out there,
Yeah.
and as we've gone through some of these podcasts before, I've given a few. I have a giant laundry list that I'm gonna give up.
Dave
That's another good
loves
one.
little
That's
Mitch
another good one.
digs.
Mitch has a lot of stories, man.
Yeah.
A
How
lot
long
of
would you give
stories.
him till he was getting dizzy, nauseous, or lightheaded?
I don't know.
You know?
Dave's a little athlete.
Oh, okay.
So-
Dave's an athlete. You an athlete, Dave?
Dude, not only that, I worked in new construction for 20 years, wearing a tool belt.
He's got a little endurance with him.
8 hours a day, 5 days a week,
Oh, man.
hanging ductwork, digging ditches.
Hey,
Don't write a check.
tomorrow
that ass
5
can't
a.m. is
cash.
cardio.
You said what? You said what?
Don't write a check that ass can't cash.
Oh
I'm just
shit!
kidding.
You know
Is
what,
that
if
a
we-
challenge?
if we want to make like a
It would be the
physical
We put some
bet-
B-roll on this motherfucker.
Well,
It is for every level. So if I like,
yeah,
if I wanted
you
to
can't
drive
bet
him
on it
underground,
because
Yeah.
it's everyone works out to their
And-
own level. So.
yeah.
I guarantee I could do Mitch's level, whatever he's at.
Oh man, that sounds like.
I don't know.
Holy
Mitch.
shit! Oh,
I don't know.
That's
Come on.
that's
I'll bring the
exciting.
camera.
Come on.
I'll bring the
Live
camera.
show?
Marcus would have to get up at 5 a.m. and
Live
that ain't
show.
happening.
Yeah.
Why do we have to go
Yeah,
at
but
5? Why do we have to go at 5 a.m.?
That's the only time I work out.
You're not
5 a.m.
flexible at all?
I don't have any other time in the rest of the day.
You can't go to the 6 p.m. show?
No, I'm not usually home from work by 6.
Well, you know what? You can't
Tell
like,
him what
do
you're
one
running,
Day. It's
Mitch.
one
He
day.
might not remember.
You know what it sounds like? Isn't that an excuse?
No.
No,
That is a
that's
structured
I'm
day.
on team. Mitch,
That is
man.
a
That's
structure.
a very structured day.
First off, no, it's not, because I've been over here at 4
Well,
in the
I-
afternoon to shoot shows. So that's a load of bullshit.
Getting up that early is a task in and of itself. So
oh,
you
I'm not
have to
getting
get
up.
up.
I'm
if
not
you
getting
want.
up that early.
So you can't do everything.
Nothing of mine fires that early.
Tyler,
You know what? I'm not. Well, say one thing fires that early. That it ain't mustard.
It ain't. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Edit that out.
That derailed
okay.
quickly.
Coming
So-
up on an hour, guys. 10 minutes.
That's all right.
One final question for you, Tyler. What would you say was the easiest portion of your first few years of opening?
So I feel like being a small business, again, it was just like people really want, when people see something new coming up, like they want to go there.
Right.
And I feel like the community really helped like spread the word. And then, getting the chance to work with certain people verified that what I'm doing, it is in my mind, the best. And it's like the members shared, like, I don't have to run an ad right for another day. I feel like referrals, once you come, everybody wants to come and have their friends try it. But I feel like the community is really helpful. And then, like we said, when we were closed with COVID, it's like people want to help you. And I, from my experience, never had that kind of fortune where it's like,
Right.
when you meet a lot of people, there's just so many good people that don't want to see you fail.
Yeah.
And I feel like, getting the support from people and
Yeah, if people have budgeted their gym membership for the year and
Right.
they're looking at, okay, you got to close for a month or two, or I don't know, however long it was, then they've already budgeted and they want to see you successful and they want to make sure they have a gym to go back to
Right.
when things
Right.
open back. So people are okay saying, nah, just keep it and we'll get back to it when we can. So word of mouth referrals is huge for sure. That is, when you're new into business and you're getting a lot of word of mouth referrals, that means you've built a really successful brand, and that is key. You've built something that people want to refer. You've built something that people enjoy so much that they want to see other people enjoy it too.
Right.
So that's the big telltale sign. If you're getting a lot of word of mouth referrals new into business, then do not change anything with your brand because you're locked in right there.
And then it's like, last thing for me is it's the quality of service. Like, I had the opportunity to get the investor because I treat every session like that's the most famous person, the most important person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When, essentially a lot of people be like, who the fuck is this person?
Right.
And then it's like, when I come into these classes, it's like everybody I work with, it's an opportunity to show yourself, show your work, show why you separate yourself. And I feel like it's just kind of, through word of mouth. Like, you're not going to refer somebody, you're like,
Right.
And then it's like, I've done $20 sessions because I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show somebody that typically couldn't afford to work with a trainer what it's all about and why people pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's just quality of service to me, and, treating every job, it's like a job to me. Of like, this is the best and most that anybody's going to care about a program you're in.
Yeah.
So
When he says the opportunity to show yourself, I mean, dude, when you're a plumber and you go to the house,
Yep.
that's the opportunity to show everyone what you're about, what your company's about.
Yep.
I'd want
It's
another
the
plumber to come in there and be
exact
like,
same thing. Yeah.
I could never do this.
Yes,
Right.
I want
exactly.
to, like, my program designer, I don't want to, I want to train and be like, dude, I could never come up with something that fucking crazy cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Or that effective.
Every business owner should be striving for that.
Right.
And they should be trying to teach their employees that, because the more employees you can teach to be that way and to really kind of give your, I don't want to say soul, but your soul into them to say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. If you can do that and you can be like this, that's how you are successful.
Yeah.
Especially in small communities.
When I was in the working force, working for somebody else, my motto was to go into the job every day and prove to my boss every day that, hands down, without a question, I was the best man for the job that day. And that motto is still very much the same today. It's, I go into every customer's home now and prove to that customer that, hands down, without a doubt, we were the best choice for them in their home every day. And Tyler does it too.
Yeah. Nobody ever comes to your
man.
job after something and be like, who the hell did this work?
Right.
Just like I, in my heart, feel like nobody's like, I worked with Dog Pounder Tyler and it was all right.
Yeah.
Like, that would, I would lose sleep over that.
Yeah.
Well, and I checked your website out before. Like I've only known Tyler for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
There are no bad reviews on there.
Right.
No.
There are no bad Google reviews on there.
Right. Well,
You know
there's
what I mean?
remember.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
there was one bad Google review, and it's from his neighbor because we were too loud.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we worked
Fake
together and
Google,
got
yeah.
everybody in the
Yes.
gym to give him a good review to like
Yes.
bury it.
It
Yes.
is fake, people, because I know everybody that comes in via.
Yeah.
It's a private gym.
Yeah.
It's from somebody
And-
who's never set foot in his gym.
Yeah, I know.
It was
Yeah.
a fake name. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google remove it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Been trying to get Google to remove it, and they
It
won't.
bothers me.
So Tyler, give everybody your website and your Instagram
So
and,
if you
and Facebook stuff so they can find you.
So Facebook, it's DAWG, Dog Pound KC. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Follow it if you're not even interested in training, or even if you're not from around here, because I do like to help people. I do share a lot of tips. It's not a click this button. I'm literally just get bored and want to help people.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, trying out free
Yeah.
class, you know.
Do you have a free class structure? Like
Yep.
like come try out?
7-day free trial.
What is it?
7-day
7-day
free trial. So
Nice.
anybody and everybody, if you go to our website, you don't have to go to our website. Classes are at 5 a.m., 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Just show up about 5 minutes before, and I'll treat you like family the second you walk in the door. Make
Probably
you
get
feel comfortable.
partnered with me.
Hey guys, we're at Blue Springs Mo, right
Yeah.
outside of KC. So if you are
Yeah.
seeing this, like obviously, I'm going to share this with all my friends that I think are fat, need to get a workout.
He's going to
you
send it
guys-
to me.
That's you guys are all close enough to check out dude. 7 days is a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot of free workouts.
Yeah. You're going to
So
you're going to
I'm not going, but there are free workouts available.
Right. And if you
you're going to
have any
love it
questions-
and regret it and
soft,
love it
that's why
again
I'm
all
not
in those
going.
7 days.
Yeah.
Right. If you have any want to book it online or forget the class times, it's on the website. Just click classes.
All right.
I love it, man.
Sweet
I love
deal.
it.
Well, guys, that pretty much sums up our show today with Tyler and Dog Pound KC. If you guys have any questions for Tyler, feel free to send them in to us, and we can pass them on to Tyler. And we're not opposed to having Tyler on in future shows. So,
We're gonna want to check out how his business is going.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
here in another 6 months.
we'll
or so.
follow up.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions for Tyler or any questions for the show, send them in to askmitch@mitchsmedley.com. That's askmitch@mitchsmedley.com. So, and remember, if you like what you're hearing on the show, please do us a favor and help share the show with anybody else who might want to be wanting to start their own company. This show grows organically because we're giving you guys really good value, and your shares and your reviews on those podcast websites, on YouTube, thumbs ups on YouTube, or review, 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast and Spotify and all that stuff. Those help us out dramatically because it helps put this show in front of some more people. So we can't even get ranked on some of those shows until we have enough reviews. So if you like what you're hearing, share the show. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. Other than that, guys, we'll see you next week.
Deuces.
Love you.